Well, good morning. How's everybody? I hope you're doing well. Listen, if you don't know me, my name's Elliot. I'm the associate minister here at the Cove. I'm thrilled to be here with you today, whether you're with us in the room right now, or whether you're joining us live on the stream or a little bit later on Facebook or YouTube or Spotify or wherever you are. Thank you for being here with us today. And I want to give a special welcome and thank you to our friends from Kids Cove for being here this morning. You guys are awesome. So, yeah. Glad you all are in here with us today. Today we are wrapping up our series called Imperfect for Each Other. We're talking about building relationships God's way, and we've come a long way. But the title of today's sermon is called Built to Last. It's called Built to Last because some relationships are built to last and others aren't. And today I'm going to start with a story that I've never told publicly before, and I think I've only told it privately a couple of times. So bear with me because I want to tell you about a relationship of mine that was not. See, before I met Abby, I was in a relationship with somebody that lasted a long time, and we thought that it was going to last forever, but it wasn't built to last. You see, it wasn't that there was necessarily anything wrong with it. We both loved Jesus. We both sought to honor God in that relationship. There were no life-altering or life-shattering mistakes that happened in the middle of that relationship. However, there was a big problem, and it was this. We went looking for our person before we went looking for our purpose, and that caused a big problem. We went looking for our person before we went looking for our purpose. And you see, as we continued to grow as people and as followers of Jesus, and we started chasing after the purpose that God had for our lives, it pulled us in opposite directions. And eventually, it caused so much tension that the foundation cracked and it blew up in our face. And I'm just going to be honest with you, it was completely devastating. And it didn't feel like it was going to be okay, and it's not what either one of us wanted to happen. But here's the thing. How many of you know that what you want and what you need aren't always the same thing? And thankfully, we serve a God who loves us and takes what we can't imagine is going to turn out for good. He can take those things and turn it out for the good of him and for the good of everybody else as well. And just for the record, today, she is married to a wonderful man, and they have kids, and they're serving as missionaries on the other side of the world, and God's doing incredible things in their lives as well, and he led me to my favorite person on the planet as well. So it worked out okay for me too, okay? But here's the thing. Yeah, you guys know Abby. But that's not how we wanted that to end, but sometimes relationships just aren't built to last. And we've all been there, whether we're talking about a romantic relationship or whether we're talking about just a friendship that we thought would last forever, and we just kind of grew apart over time. And for those of you who've been out of high school for a minute, how many friends from high school do you still talk to? I bet that list is growing smaller by the day. How about elementary school? You probably don't talk to a whole lot, maybe a few, but you know why that happens? It's because our purposes pull us in opposite directions. And that's okay, but we're saddened by that because we know that we're meant to be in a relationship and we want to be in community with other people. And we've been talking about this all month long. You remember in the first week, we said that the quality of your relationship with God will determine the quality of your relationship with other people. And then we said that pride is the poison that kills relationships. And as a follower of Jesus, I don't have room for that in my life because I have sin in my life. I need the grace of God. And because I've been given grace, I need to be able to extend that to other people as well. And we were talking about in our communication how it needs to be flavored with love all the way through because God is love and he lives in me. So if love lives in me, it should flow through me. Yes? And then last week, we talked about fighting with one another. And we said that conflict reveals the depth of our love. And that as followers of Jesus, we're not meant to fight with people. We're meant to fight for them. And all of those things are true. And when we start implementing those things in our lives, our relationships are going to be better than they ever have been before. But listen to me, if we miss this last part, we are doomed to failure from the very beginning. And we're setting ourselves up for heartache and headache and hurt. So lean in, because I need you to hear me when I say this next part. The right people are on the other side of the right purpose. The right people are on the other side of the right purpose. And we have to get this order right. We have to. So many times we get it flipped and we go looking for our person before we go looking for our purpose. And where we end up is inside a codependent relationship that ends up pulling us away from our purpose rather than pushing us toward it. And eventually that tension is going to cause it to break. And we find ourselves standing in the ruins of a relationship going, what in the world just happened? So we've got to look for our purpose before we look for our person. And that being said, wouldn't it be really nice if God would just, tell us what it is? That'd be nice, right? Well, here's the thing. He already did. And we don't even have to get to the New Testament to get it. And he gave it to us in one sentence. Are you ready for it? If we look in the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8, here's what it says. It says, he has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? What does he want from you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. One sentence. To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. It almost sounds too simple, doesn't it? But how many of you know that simple and easy are not the same thing? Because there's a lot of things in life that are simple, that are very difficult to do. And when we start living our life that way, what we're going to find out is that there are a whole lot of people in our lives that don't want to move that direction. That there are a whole lot of people who have other plans for their life. And when we start living that way, when we start acting justly, loving mercy, walking humbly with our God, it gives us a direction for our life and a place to start. And yes, we all have unique giftings and passions and skills that God wants us to use, but he wants us to use those things to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. And a few weeks ago, in our young adult life group that meets at our house, we were talking about relationships, and we said it's kind of like everybody's just running in random directions. And what you're hoping for is just hook somebody and start running with them. And that's how we're going to live life. But it's very difficult to do, isn't it? But we said, listen, when you start here and you start with your purpose gives you a direction to start running. And when you start using your gifts and your passions and your skills that God has given you uniquely, what you're going to find is that you start getting into a rhythm and a pace. And pretty soon, as you're running in that direction, you're looking around and going, hey, there's some other people who are running kind of in the same lane that I'm running. And these are the people that I want to build relationships with. Listen, because what I'm saying is, romantic or not, I want people in my life who are running the same direction that I'm running, who are running at the same pace that I'm running. You know why? The answer is very simple. Because head-on collisions are very painful. They're painful for everybody involved. And we've been talking for a month about loving people and how to love them well. And we've been hanging out in 1 John chapter 4. I want to circle back there one more time. 1 John chapter 4. Check this out. It says this. And so we know and rely on the love that God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in them. And this is how love is made complete among us, so that we will have confidence on the day of judgment. In this world, we're like Jesus. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. We love because he first loved us. Now watch this. It says, whoever claims to love God yet hates a brother or sister is a liar. For whoever does not love their brother and sister whom they have seen cannot love God, whom they have not seen. And he has given us this command. Anyone who loves God must also love their brother and sister. Those are strong words from John, are they not? Did you catch what he said? He said, I can't love him if I don't love you. I can't love him if I don't love you. And not only that, I'm to love you the way that Jesus does. I'm to love you with the kind of love that drives out fear and shows the world what the love of Christ actually looks like. Can we just admit for a second, this is really hard to do? Because it's hard enough to love people who I think are going the right direction, who are doing the right things and making the right choices, because like we said a couple of weeks ago, we're all imperfect. And so it's difficult enough to love the people that I think are going the right way, much less the people I think are doing everything wrong. That's hard to do, isn't it? But this is who Jesus is. And it's who he expects me to be as well. And it's what he expects of you, because did Jesus, or did he not, come and give his life for people who were going the wrong direction? That's exactly what he did, isn't it? He didn't wait for you to start turning around and getting your life together. No, he came and he gave his life for you and for me when we were headed the exact wrong direction. The path that we were headed on, if I can be so blunt, was going to lead us to hell. Eternal separation from our Father. And he said, no, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do something about it, so that you'll have the opportunity to turn around and start heading in a direction where you will be able to be united with your Father instead of separated from him. And if you don't know how to come into a relationship with Jesus, if you don't know how to become a Christian, then ask one of our Kids Code friends, because they all know, I promise you, okay? But if you don't know, come talk to me before you leave today. I'd love to chat with you. If you're with us in the room, after service is over, I'm going to be right down here in the front. I'd love to talk with you about what this means and what it looks like. If you're joining us on the stream or a little bit later, please email us at hello@swisscovechristian.com. This is the biggest decision you can ever make in your lifetime. Jesus loved you with this kind of love. And this is the love that he wants us to extend to other people as well. See, we have to love everybody, but I'm going to say this too, okay? We have to love everybody, but we also need to choose the people that we bring closest to us very carefully. We need to choose the people that we bring all the way in very wisely and intentionally. Be kind to everybody, but listen to me. The closest people in your life should be the people who are chasing after Jesus the same way you are. They should be the people who are acting justly, who love mercy, who are walking humbly with their God. They should be the people who are pushing you to chase after Jesus. They should be the people who are encouraging you to grow as a follower of Christ. So let's assume for just a second that you're already doing this, okay? That you act justly, that you love mercy, that you're walking humbly with your God. Let's assume for a second that you're doing that. And you look around and you start seeing some people around you that are doing the same. And you say, how do I build a relationship with them that is built to last? How do I actually go about this? And we're going to talk about this like we're framing a house. I'm going to give you 3 frames, and 2 of them are not going to work, but it's how we do it most of the time. And then the last one will be the way that it actually does work. Okay? And so to help me with this, I've got some of my Kids Code friends that are going to come up here and help me. So if you guys will come on up here, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Let's give them a hand as they come on up here. You guys are awesome. All right, so if I can have you come right here. If I can have you come right over here. Juliana, thank you, sweet girl. If you'll stand right here. Okay, if I can have you guys, if you'll stand right here, then right here. The first frame that we're going to talk about is an A-frame relationship. So if you guys will stick your hands up right there and make an A for me. Go ahead and lean in on each other a little bit. You're not going to fall, are you? Okay, what if I come and yank on you a little bit? Would you fall? Yeah, you would? Okay, then you're doing it right. Perfect. Okay, I won't do that though, okay? Probably. All right. An A-frame relationship is a codependent one. It's a codependent relationship. And these people are a package deal. You don't get one without the other. See, they went looking for their person before they went looking for their purpose, and they rely on one another to complete each other. And very often in this kind of relationship, the family and friends around them are going, hey, this is not good. This is not healthy. I don't think this is a good idea. But they're not trying to hear that right now, because everything's good. Because in a codependent relationship, in an A-frame relationship, what they say is, I need you and nobody else. But pretty soon what happens is one of them goes, I don't think I like the way that this is going. I don't recognize myself anymore. And so they get out of the relationship. But what would happen if I came and I grabbed Micah? I'm not going to do that, I promise, okay? And I just yanked him this way. What's going to happen to Danielle? She's going to fall flat on her face. And that's what happens most of the time in these kind of relationships, is it not? Let's give my friends a hand here. You guys are awesome. Thank you. High five, high five. Awesome. Thank you. All right, Leah, come on this way. Come on this way. All right, if you'll stand right here, okay? Stand right here. Okay, if I can have you guys stand right here and face out for me. Can you face out for me? If you guys will stand right here for me just a second, okay? The next type of relationship is an H-frame relationship. So if you can take your arm and just slide it out this way. Yep, slide it out this way. Take one step this way. Perfect. And just don't even touch each other though, okay? So don't even touch each other. An H-frame relationship is a relationship, it's built on independence, okay? And in this situation, each person stands completely on their own. They don't need each other for much. They don't rely on each other for much. There's very little influence on one another, okay? If I came over here, Eden, and I pushed your arm down, go ahead and let your arm fall. What happens to Leah? Not a thing. She's totally fine. In fact, if Eden walked down the stairs right now, Leah might not even notice. See, people in this kind of relationship, they might even be married, but they're little more than roommates in practice. And in an H-frame relationship, they don't say, I need you and nobody else. They say, I don't need you or anybody else. Let's give my friends a hand here. Thank you, guys. You guys can have a seat. And if I can have you all come this way, if you'll come right here and stand right here for me. Yep, come right here. And we're going to face Juliana, okay? What I need you to do is take one step. Can you turn this way for me? Face me. There you go. Perfect, perfect. Right here. Juliana, if you'll come right here and stick your hands out right here. Will you grab her hands? Yep. Stick your arm straight down. And this last relationship is an M-frame relationship. The first two lead us to places that are not healthy and are not places that we want to go. But this last one, an M-frame relationship, is built on interdependence. Okay, we've had codependent relationships that say, I need you and nobody else. We've had independent relationships that say, I don't need you or anybody else. And now we have an M-frame relationship. And an M-frame relationship, each person has value in and of themselves, but they choose to be together. They help each other grow. They push each other in all kinds of ways. They're there for each other emotionally. And they want to see each other grow in their relationship with Jesus. And in this kind of relationship, they are able to say to one another, I need Jesus, but I want you with me. I need Jesus, but I'd really like it if you came too. Let's give my friends a hand. Thank you guys so much. You can have a seat. Thank you. High five. Awesome. Awesome. See, when you're in a relationship like that, when you're in an M-frame relationship, an interdependent one that says, I need Jesus, but I want you with me, it removes pressure from the other person because they feel like they don't have to complete you. It allows two imperfect people to serve a perfect God together. So whether you're building a life together or whether you're just going for meaningful friendships, we have to get this framework right. We've got to love everyone, but also we need to choose those who are closest to us very carefully because the right people are on the other side of the right purpose. So follow after Jesus and let him bring the right people into your life. Because we were made for one another, but we're not perfect. We're imperfect for each other. That's why we don't and we can't and we were never meant to complete one another. We push each other. Yes, that's true. We push each other. The question is, are we pushing each other toward Jesus or away from him? And even in healthy relationships, even in things when it's going well, we're still going to struggle at times because we're imperfect people. There are still some rough edges, and we're going to have to learn to extend grace to one another and show mercy to one another and show the world what the love of Christ is like by the way that we love each other. But I'm begging you, church, to find people who push you toward your purpose. Love other people well. Because you remember what John said? He said, we can't love God if we don't love each other. We can't love God if we don't love each other. But remember, we love not so we can find our soulmate. We love because he first loved us. See, the fulfillment that you're looking for, it will never, ever, ever, ever be found in another human being. It was never meant to be. So in our relationships, we need to learn to say, I need Jesus, but man, I want you with me. I need Jesus, but I want you to come along too.